Yo. Welcome back to the Mark Our Words podcast, the official podcast of YouTube. What's good with you, Moses?
Man, life is good, man.
What's good about life?
Man, I've been eating a lot of good food. This is pizza place, bro. It's like right down the street.
You gave up on And Pizza, man?
Oh, no, I still go there.
Okay.
But this joint.
I still want the owner on the podcast, by the way. Shout out to the owner. They call him the Pizza Jesus.
Jeez.
Because he got long hair.
Is he black?
Nah, he's a white man.
He can't be Jesus. I'm sorry, you can't.
I beg with him because he's all for correct wages for minimum wage. Like he's for paying his workers good and stuff like that. Yeah, he actually one thing I do want to ask him, I'm like, how are you like he uses his politics belief to, I don't want to misspeak, but to like, I don't want to say fund his pizza, but it's like he's using, like, pizza is such a convenient thing to gather around. Like if I can't decide what I want to eat, I just get pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I already don't know what I want to eat. I'm just gonna get pizza. Because pizza, even the worst pizza, is be like, it's good enough. You know what I mean? I haven't really had bad pizza. I had pizza that I'd rather not have compared to pizza that I really like. And I'm just like, man, you really, based on what I've seen, I'm like, man, you're really doing some good work. So I really would like to talk to him about it. And also this pizza company he got. But I'm sorry to cut you off. This is Pizza Spot.
It's all good. Yeah, this is amazing pizza spot. Verde Pizza. But then again, I think I got the best pizza there. So, but that pizza was hitting. I took my girl to the Bygone the other day.
You took her to the Bygone?
For her birthday.
What is the Bygone? I feel like I heard it before.
It's shout out to
Bygone. I don't know why, but like the only thing that come to mind is the Gaylord, and then like I know you're not talking about that.
It's close. It's not a hotel, but I get to it.
Okay.
But shout out to Yvette. The other half of, is it Decoral. The other half of Decoral. I try to say fancy. It didn't come out right. Oh boy. But yeah, now she told me about the place like a couple of years ago. That was like way back, like maybe 2017, 2018, and I took my mother there for Mother's Day. Anyway, I took my girl there for her birthday just a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, we had some good food there. It's a restaurant up in the Four Seasons. I think it's the Four Seasons up in that little corner.
I know you talk about the Bygone, the one that be having the night spot at night. I know I heard it from somewhere. I've been there, but I only been there when they had the DJ there playing the music.
Yeah, I remember when you told me about it.
Yeah, but I ain't eat the food. I ain't eat the restaurant.
I don't remember it being that good. It was good.
It was good.
It was good. It was good the first time when I went with my mom. I went there a second time, and this is the third time.
They're like, you dressed up?
Yeah, we dressed up.
You're a dapper guy.
Yeah, I tried to be, man.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we so I've been, because my fridge is broken, I haven't really
Have you been back to Angie's?
Yes.
Okay.
Cuz it's been broken for like 2-3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
I just decided this week. I do have a problem with spending money. It took me 2-3 weeks. I was like,
whole time,
should I fix my car?
You could have got.
Should I fix my fridge?
You could have got a fridge back then to save you some money, possibly. But
Yeah, so it's been broken for 2-3 weeks.
But if there's anything you want to spend money on, man, it's some good food, not just bad food.
I've been going to Andy's.
Good food.
So it's been. I've been having some good eats.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Shout out to the bus drivers. People who are bus drivers. Shout out to them. I wanted to give them a random shout out, man. That's all.
The thing is, I don't want to talk about
you don't have to
male dynamics, but that conversation is just,
it's funny. A lot of reverse engineering going on. You get what I'm saying? A lot of
Dr. Umar.
Exactly. Very talk. Like, this is really what I meant. This is really what I said. And I'm like, but that's not what you meant. But I want to get to the topic that we were supposed to get to 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. Well, how you doing? You really?
I'm good.
I was like, I'm not changing topics this time. He's like, I'm good. That's all.
I'm good.
All right. Well, yeah, let's talk about it. Okay. So as some of you guys probably know, a lot of the banks been failing.
Okay.
Some of the biggest banks in U.S. history. But before we even talk about that, we should probably talk about how money works, right?
Tell me how.
And so, how should I put this? So money is based off of trust, right?
Trust as in relationship trust, or trust as in
trust into the actual value of the money.
Okay.
Like, you have money right now because you trust. Now, if you go to a certain store, they will accept it.
Yes.
If you didn't trust that, if you went to that store and it was like, we don't take money, and then you go to another store, it's like, we don't take that money, and you go to another store, would you have that money anymore? Let's say 50% of the stores
that like
only
I try
take
to go
Bitcoin.
to only take Bitcoin, then
They don't take U.S. dollars no more.
Then it would make me look at my money as valueless.
So most of money is overall needs trust. If they don't have trust in that money, it becomes useless.
Okay.
So let's establish that.
You established it very well.
If we expand that to the rest of the system that deals with money, most of this trust is extended to a lot of these systems, right?
Okay.
Banks is one of those things. So banks, they deal in risk management business. What I mean by that is like they try to see what is the risk, what is the minimal risk for the most returns on the money that we lend out.
Okay.
Now, how do they get this money that they lend out? Well, most of us, we keep our money in the bank.
Yes.
Some of us keep our money in the mattress, but then your money is losing value over time.
Yep.
Your money's still losing value in the bank, but at least it gets interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the money that we keep in our banks, the banks take that money and they lend it off, to mortgages, small businesses, expand the farms, just to keep our economy keep growing and moving.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they just does is like, you have your money in the bank, they give you money back for keeping your money in their bank at a certain interest, and they lend out this money at a higher interest, right? So now that we established, what the banks are supposed to do, they're supposed to give money to increase the economy, to make people be able to do necessary things like start businesses, run businesses, expand businesses, buy a home, buy a car, things to help people continue to move on in life or do things within our economy. And then they also, manages, if somebody might default on their loan. So it's like, okay, what's the risk of loan to this person? Well, if we loan to this person, we might have to increase the interest rate this much because they are at high risk of defaulting on their loan. So they do all that risk management to see how much should we how much should we loan this person at what interest rate, so that, if they do default, it's covered by this interest rate. And, they do all that math.
Yeah. Basically, they're using my money to cover if something was to happen to you, and vice versa to everybody else and stuff like that.
Not if something happens, but they use your money to give me a loan for my car, or they use your money to give me a loan for a house.
Yeah.
But they use your interest rate. So let's say your credit score is like 700 plus. You might have a low interest rate because they're like, he's gonna give us back all our money.
Yeah.
Versus me, let's say my credit score is like 5 something.
Oh boy.
Everybody like, man, give this man the max interest rate because we don't know if our money is coming back to us. So let's get our money as quickly as possible, just in case. And so that's kind of how they minimize the risk.
You're making sense so far.
Cool. So we established, how banks normally work or supposed to work. Now, modern banks have abandoned this model in some sense, where now they do something called gambling.
Oh, boy.
Or some people call it speculative trading, where they do options, margins. So now they're betting against certain companies like GameStop, where they were betting that it was going to fail, versus giving them money to succeed, right? So they're doing all these bets, right?
Yeah.
And they're making these bets thinking that they're going to make more money. And so a lot of these, one example is 2008, where a lot of the banks were giving out loans to almost anybody at a high interest rate, making you thinking that they was going to get as much money as they possibly can, and which led to the 2008 bank, housing collapse that happened, where hundreds of billions of dollars just evaporated. Like it just
they ain't get their money back. Yeah,
and a lot of the governments had to do like these bailouts to save a lot of these banks. Which is the whole what was it? Wall on Wall Street? I don't know, the whole Occupy Wall Street. That was the protest. It was a whole Occupy Wall Street. It was all due to that whole banking stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
So a lot of the banks now are doing like this gambling type of trading versus like giving money to people to actually move our economy and do services, or buy goods. Cool. Now, one thing that we have to also realize is that banks also operate on something called fractional reserve banking, which means that they are required to only have to keep 10% of your money in the bank, right? So the other 90% of your money. So let's say you have $100K in the bank. That's a lot of money. Shout out to you for saving that much. But let's say you have $100K in the bank. They only have to keep 10,000 of that dollars in the bank for you to request it. The other 90% goes to like loans or helping other people, or
they are prostituting
gambling.
my money basically.
Yeah. I mean, in a sense, that's good. Because it helps other people progress in life. Like I wouldn't be able to purchase this house. Most people wouldn't be able to purchase a house if they didn't have loans. But how are you going to get a loan? You got to use other people's money. Well, why would you want to give me a loan? You have no incentive to give me a loan. I don't have incentive to give somebody a loan.
So basically, like, we gonna take out the middleman. We gonna take out the interpersonal relationship with me giving you a loan directly.
Because you don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But what you want to do, you want to have your money safe somewhere. Well, the bank is saying, well, look, customer who wants to save your money, I could protect your money for the time being. You don't have to worry about putting in a mattress, getting robbed, blah, blah. We will handle all that. Anytime you want your money, hey, we have all these ATM machines. You can get your money anytime you want to. If you want to transfer your money somewhere, we can handle that for you. You don't even have to worry about it. That's what we're doing for you. But then on the other side, they're like, hey, man, you need some money? We got all this money over here. What do you need? You just got to pay me for the money, right? And that's where interest is. And it's saying, hey, we will actually pay you for you to save your money here. You don't even got to worry about it. Now, you got Bank of America that does fees and all this nonsense.
Yeah, the monthly fees.
yeah, that's wild. But usually they're paying you. So you're actually the client. They're the customer. No, the client. You're the business, and they're the customer. They're paying you to have your money in their banks, and so you get some money, but then their actual customers are the borrowers, and so they're giving their money, and then they're paying for that money. So another thing to keep in mind is that money costs money. So there's no such thing as free money. Other people's money costs money, right?
That's a bar.
So they're required to keep 10%. Now that we established all that, what has been happening in the last 2 months?
Tell me what's been going on in the last 2 months.
So in recent years, until like 2021, interest rates has been almost at zero. So it means that money has been really cheap. Really cheap.
You just told me money costs money.
Yeah, but it's cheap. It's been really cheap. This is at 0%. And for fractional reserve banking, remember I said something about trust earlier. For that to work, it only works if everybody believes in the banking system, right? I trust that my money is going to be there when I need it. So I won't, I trust that, it's safe. But it only works if everybody believes it, right? So there was a bank called Silicon Valley Bank. This have you heard about it?
I think you sent me the article.
Yeah. Silicon Valley Bank. So they cater to venture capitalists and startups and tech companies. And they held about $342 billion of customers' money. They took a bet that interest rates which so the Fed controls interest rates. Everybody bases their interest rates off of the Fed's interest rate.
Okay.
And so because a lot of banks borrow money from the Fed, and so if you borrow money from the Fed, you have to pay that money back with interest. So and because you have to pay the money back on interest, you have to then increase the other interest that you're using that money that you borrowed from the Fed for other borrowers. You want to make a profit, so you increase that interest on top of that interest.
It's just a waterfall effect.
So they made a bet, gambling, right, that interest rates would not increase as fast as interest rates has been increasing. So around 2021, the Fed started increasing rates. A lot. And just recently, the Fed's increased rates to like 5-something%.
Now, question.
Yeah.
Was that increase due to the pandemic?
Yeah.
Okay. And nobody saw that coming. Well, to where it will increase the rates that much, or did they see this coming?
I don't know how they did. I mean, I saw it coming. So the interest rates. So the Fed's increased interest rates based off of inflation to slow people down from just take out loans. Or increase, or just slow people down from putting money into the market. Just slow things down.
Yeah.
So interest rate. So inflation comes when there's too much money in circulation, because if you have a lot more money, you're more willing to spend more money. If you're more willing to spend more money, then I might as well increase the prices of things. If I'm might as well increase the prices of things, then I would have more money because you're spending more money on me. Which means I have more money, which means I'm more likely to increase. So it's this waterfall effect that things just keep rising. So the Fed's like, oh, okay, increase the rates. Which then now is when you go to get, like, you know, if you want to get a loan, it's like to buy, like, I don't know, a commercial property. You're like, oh, it costs a little bit more money than it used to. Okay, well, maybe I don't buy this right now, or maybe I slow down in buying.
And that's the whole point of what they're trying to do.
And so they try and slow down all this, like, increase. And you know, the housing market is a great example. Like, houses was just ballooning. Like, you would go to these homes that were supposed to cost like $300K, and now costing $500K, $600K, because people just have more money, access to money. And so the Feds is like, okay, let's make money a little bit more expensive, so people can't just
yeah.
And so that's what the Fed does. So increasing interest rates, and Silicon Valley Bank said, we're going to take a bet that they're not going to increase interest rates as fast. And so this bet, they bought these treasury bonds, which is supposed to increase at a certain rate. But the interest rates were moving faster than the rate that their treasury bonds were increasing. But these bonds were supposed to be held for 6 years. If they took the money out, they was going to lose money until, the 6 years. Well, so that's one. They took this bet. The second thing is, for them to pay for the losses, they had to use customers or the deposits. But the thing is, tech companies are not making as much money as they once were, so they need more money to cover a lot of the losses that tech companies were losing outside.
And does it normally take a while for a tech company to make a profit? It depends, but these are well-known tech companies in Silicon Valley, right?
Well, for a lot of the, not even those tech companies, but for a lot of tech companies, right? Let's say you have a startup company, because a lot of startups are using these companies too. You might get $10 billion. You raise $10 billion, but that $10 billion is supposed to last you 4 or 5 years, right? That's what you projected.
But money costs. But things went up,
so now you need a little bit more money to do things. So it might be 3-4 years. It might be less than that. So, but remember, they had to keep 10% of the money. So you have 10% of a majority of the money that you thought you was going to have. That might not cover the losses that you made with this big bet. So that's number one. Okay, so they don't have the money that they were supposed to take. And then because of that bet that they miscalculated, they took like a $1.5 billion loss, right? Workout. that Silicon Valley Bank might not pay back their debts. That's second thing. Stocks went down 60%. 60%. Because stocks went down, that means they even have less of a way to pay back the debt. Because I don't know if people know this, but the way stocks work, companies sell stocks at a certain price to get capital.
So like shares and
shares,
things.
yeah. But it went down 60%. Now they had to sell even more stocks to even get what they was originally going to get. Which then, it gets a little weird if you start going into too much of what you have, right?
So basically, what you get with one share, you probably need to get it with two shares.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're losing your shares quicker than like you would if you only spent one. But I feel you. I got you.
So which means that less money for them to raise money if need be, right?
Yeah.
Then people in the tech, atmosphere were being advised like, hey, bro, it's bad. It's bad. Silicon Valley might go down.
Whoa, the whole valley?
Silicon Valley Bank might go down.
Okay.
If I were you,
I wouldn't.
I would take out my take out my money. And Silicon Valley people, they plugged in. One person say something, everybody hears it.
The valley knows.
Everybody hears it. So if you're somebody who hears that Silicon Valley might go down, maybe this is also a good thing to say right now. So the government only insures about $250K of your money. Uh-huh. So if a bank were to close or fail, the government will give you back all your money up to $250K. So you have $10,000 in the bank. The government will give you back $10,000. You have $100,000 in the bank.
They give you $100,000.
You have $500,000 in the bank.
You get $250,000.
Now we talking about tech companies.
We talking about billions.
$10 billion in the bank.
Exactly. You get $250,000.
So if you are a Silicon Valley CEO of a tech company, and you got $50 million in the bank, and people are saying Silicon Valley might cause bankruptcy, what are you doing?
I'm gonna get my money out today.
Now, that's every CEO's thinking. All of them are trying to get their money out. But remember, they only have 10% of everybody's money. So what happens?
Now, what happens when a group of people want 100% of their money back?
And then the 90% is now at 70%. So now all these people are going to the bank to get out the money, but they only have 10% to give them. So they're giving them the money. And this is what people call a bank run. And so that's how the first bank collapsed. This was because the thing is only, and then the funniest thing is only about 2.7% of the Silicon Valley Bank deposits, like actual bank accounts, were less than $250K. So the other the other 97.3% were all uninsured. So there was going to be a lot of people angry if they didn't have them. Luckily, the government stepped in and then took over. And
because they had to. Because the loss would have been too.
Well, think about it, right? And this comes to the conversation of too big to fail. A lot of these companies that we have on our computers right now, on these websites, on the internet, are tech companies, Silicon Valley companies. If they don't have no money tomorrow, it shuts down. And so if half of the apps that we see online shut down, that's devastating. Who knows? Also, like Robinhood, who has like a bunch of stock, they might shut down. That might cause a whole other
day trading and things like that.
You have all these email apps. Who knows what emails are essentials? I don't know.
Google is just not a search engine, guys.
Yeah, so so there's so many different things that could happen if the government didn't step in, right? But that was just the first of several other banks. Mind you, this is only a month ago, 2 months. This happened March 10th
of 2023.
2023. And this was one of the biggest.
We still got the rest of the year to go.
This is one of the biggest bank failures of the year of U.S. history. One of the biggest. 2 days later, a bank called Signature Bank. People saw what happened to Silicon Valley Bank.
So they started pulling their money out.
And because Signature Bank, a New York bank, had high amounts of uninsured deposits, they also got scared. Signature Bank was known for investing in crypto.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it got shut down March 12th, 2 days later.
Grand opening, grand closing.
And that was the third biggest bank failure in U.S. history.
We making history, man.
So I think it was just 2 days ago. First Republic Bank.
2 days ago in real time. Okay.
First Republic Bank. It also has 67.4% of its deposits were uninsured.
Uh-oh.
It also got shut down.
Fourth?
So there was one of the, and this country is probably the best, probably the biggest, has the strongest banking system in the world. There's no country with a banking system better than this country.
Even when it comes to offshore and things like that,
they are the biggest.
Oh, okay.
There was a Swiss bank. I don't know the name. I can't remember on top of my head. Swiss Bank was one of the largest Swiss banks ever to exist. There was probably one other that's bigger than it. It failed. Its competitor had to buy it. I think, pennies on the dollar. Same thing with First Republic Bank. It was bought by Chase. So the thing about, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I don't know what this means.
It means we're in hell. That's basically what it means.
Cause money is such a funny thing. Cause unless you start really thinking about it, we see it as a real thing. Like having 100K, having 200K, having 100 million. That is like freedom. Like that's a tickler freedom.
I got a question when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Do you think we have a problem with seeing money as real? Like, for example, do you think the person who makes 50K have a hard time seeing how real their money is compared to someone who makes 300,000 or make 100,000 or make 150,000? Do you think based on whatever class or tax bracket you in, that it makes the money more real or more fake?
I think more fake.
Okay.
I remember, I forgot what the item was, but Bill Gates was asked about a washing machine. He said something about 200, not 200, 20K, 30K, probably 30K.
For a washing machine?
Probably 30K. But he's so out of touch with reality. He's not buying washing. Why is Bill Gates buying washing machines? He don't know. Mm-hmm. He was 30K, 40K, but he don't even know that's people's salary. And this is probably a couple years ago. So, it was people's salary. And so I think for somebody who's making less than $1 definitely means more, right? It's not you're not just spending $100 just frivolously versus somebody who's making 200, 300 mil. $1 is what is that? $100. I heard Drake be gambling with millions of dollars. Can you imagine?
I actually saw a video. We talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast, but we talked about this. They treating sneakers like paintings, where sneakers cost $2,000.
Oh yeah,
$3,000, $1,500. 50 Cent was in the sneaker store, and they were like, "Yeah, this sneaker right here costs $4,000." He was like, "I ain't paying $4,000 for no sneakers." And it's 50 Cent.
No,
you get what I'm saying?
50 Cent's different though.
But my thing is
I think he was wearing fake jewelry.
He was wearing fake jewelry?
Was he?
I don't know about fake jewelry.
Maybe it wasn't him.
I don't know. But my whole point is we at the point to where a sneaker back in the day was $60, $90, maybe $100, maybe $200 at most. We're talking
money is cheap.
4 digits, bro.
Money's cheap. Money's cheap right now. Well, it's getting more expensive. That's why things are becoming a little bit more scarier. But money's cheap. Like people were buying fake digital paintings called NFTs for millions of dollars. You can't even touch this thing. For millions of dollars, people are buying these NFTs.
I have to log into my thing so you can see it.
if that company is still there,
exactly.
Right? So the thing is like, but even though we have to, but it's weird, right? Because you have to believe money is real for it to work.
Yeah.
Like if you don't trust the money, if you're like there's countries where they experience something called hyperinflation, where today bread might cost like $1 or $2. A loaf of bread might cost $2. Next week it might cost $20. The following week it might cost $50. The following week it might cost $102. Like now you don't believe your money will be the same worth that is next week
or even yesterday.
So then now you're like, oh, I need to get rid of this. I need to get something else. I need to, change my money to crypto, or I need to buy US dollars, something that would be sustainable. And that's the issue with a lot of these other countries, usually third world countries. And sometimes what their government would do is just scrap the currency and just make a new currency. Brazil did this, I want to say, 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. But there's a lot of companies. Venezuela has been experienced this, where they have hyperinflation. After World War I, Germany experienced this. This is what gave rise to the Nazi Germany, because every day your currency did not match the same amount that it matched the following day. But that's because people didn't trust the currency. It was like, oh no. And something like that is like, I don't know if that money is going to be the same value that is today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna double charge you, and because I double charge you, now I think, oh, that money is that. So now when I go somewhere else and they want something good for me, I'm like, oh, I just spent double what that bread was worth, so I'm gonna have to charge you double. And because I charge you double, that person's gonna like, okay, I ain't gonna be doing this double thing, so I'm gonna have to charge you triple what this good or service costs. And so that's what kind of like leads to that type of that fear. But so my fear is not really the collapse, but the I guess the mistrust of our money.
Well, you also got to include, in my opinion, have you ever heard of shrinkflation too?
Yeah, kind of.
Shrinkflation is where, like, just to make it simple, let's say you have a box of cereal. I'm just gonna throw random numbers out there. You have a box of cereal.
Oh, you talking about, yeah.
And let's say there's 20 ounces of cereal in that box. Of course, 20 ounces is not a lot, but let's say there's 20 ounces of box in that cereal and it costs $5. What they do, and what a lot of people are doing, or companies are doing, is they still charge you $5.
Yeah.
But you realize it's not 28 ounces of cereal in there. It's like 18.5.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, but that's probably a better way of doing it, because the customer don't really know.
That's better than the
hyperinflation. You don't want hyperinflation. There's no way to stop it. But yeah, that's what companies do, because one, they don't want to seem like they might need more money, right? But two, they might also just don't want to make you feel like, oh, I'm paying more for something that
I thought mainly it was because they're losing inventory, because they're trying to save or skim off the top. To save, I mean, to the consumer, it's all dishonest. You know what I'm saying? It's just all based on which dishonest do you want? Of course, nobody wants the hyperinflation, things like that. But at the same time, you don't want to be paying the same for less. If you're getting less than what your dollar, so in the same way, you're paying the same price, but you're getting less than what the dollar said it's worth.
Yeah.
So,
but that's inflation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's inflation. So inflation is going to happen regardless, right? Like your money. That's why people say don't ever keep your money in a bank, and even worse, don't keep it in a mattress.
Just keep it in the market.
Yeah, keep it in the market. Put it in stocks. Put it in bonds. Put it in somewhere where it increase interest, because your inflation is going to happen. There's nothing you could do about it. You know, and the one thing that companies do is like, if they want to, because everybody's playing a game, right? To their shareholders, they want to say, "Hey, we made more money this year." Well, what's one way to make more money? Well, put less product in the package and sell it for more, and then you do more sales. Do more sales, you make more money, right? That's one possible solution. One possible reason. Another possible reason is what you said. Is like they don't have the inventory. So if they don't have the inventory, they put less product in the package. Another, thing might just be they fall in hard times. They need more money. Because they fall in hard times, they need more money. They might put less product in the package. So there's a number of reasons why somebody could do shrink inflation. But like even Snicker bars. I don't remember Snicker bars.
Used to be
the king size used to be like 2 whole Snickers. Now it's like, or it used to be 1 big Snickers. Now they doing 2 small Snickers. I'm like, okay, how much do they save from that space of cutting that Snicker? But that's the thing, right? Even chips.
Like really, this is 1 Snicker.
Yeah, exactly. I remember even chips. I was talking to my girl. I was like, I don't remember chips being this empty. Like
it's just a bag of air.
Yeah, I'm like, yo. Every time I open a bag of chips, I'm like, yo, why is it only like?
It's like half the bag in there.
But that's the thing about having to live in a growing economy. You have to make more money every year. Like if people don't like a company that's stagnated.
So what is well, not America. We are in America, but what is the not cost of living? What is people's life gonna look like if it keeps going this way? Because of course it's affecting Of course it's affecting the tech companies. Yeah. It's affecting Silicon Valley and so forth, and these Federal Reserve banks. Will it eventually reach the bank down the street that you go to every day?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the projection if something don't change? It's going to be our everyday life, basically.
I mean, the beautiful thing about America is that they can make money somehow, some way.
just basically print
it. I don't, because there's no way, but they can only do that for so long, right? I mean, it's and the thing is, like one theory I have why we haven't experienced hyperinflation is because when they did pump out so much money during pandemic, the hyperinflation went to the stock market. So that's why you saw all these like crazy stock prices for a lot of these companies, because a lot of people were investing in stocks or investing in like crypto or investing in these weird, investment NFTs, and we didn't really see it in the economy as much. But now that people are taking their money out of those things, you start seeing it, rise in like eggs. Eggs is like freaking $8 for like 12. You start seeing these other things.
You're like, what is going on here?
Yeah, so I think, what I think is best is put your money in. Well, most of y'all gonna be good, unless y'all some multimillionaires and you got millions in the bank. Your money's insured.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably safe to put your money into a credit union. Also, if you can, try not to build too much debt around this time, because interest rates are probably a lot more expensive. But just live your life. There's not much you can really do. Right?
I'm about to say, dude, you think like usually they say like it's like a balloon that pops. It blows up, then it pops. Do you think there'll be a reset, or when it pops, that will be our new normal? Like it's not going to reset to how it was. It's like this is the new norm now.
Yeah, it's weird. because last time something like this happened was like, well, the biggest pop that we know in U.S. history was probably the Great Depression.
Yeah.
And that lasted about 10 years. And it wasn't until we went to World War II, that we actually got out of that joint. So it makes you wonder, like,
war?
Yeah, like, will we have to deal with this for 15 years?
And 15 years for some people, that's their full adulthood right there.
Yeah, I know, right? We had small little joints like in the 1970s, or we had the one in 2008, but I don't know. We never experienced something like this. We haven't had bank failures just happen out of nowhere. We never had us put in 80% of all money ever put into the economy all at once. Like, we never had this before. So it's I think, for most people, like, definitely don't do any risky bets or investments.
Of course, people telling you during this time,
make money.
This is the time to take the risk, because those
are the same people that reformatted their whole talk. They was talking about Bitcoin, and prior to that, they was talking about drop shipping, and the new thing is AI. Oh, how you can make money with AI? I'm like, yo, I seen you in the Bitcoin joints.
Yeah, you know what I read? And this probably be the next episode. They say, based on AI, it is projected. I don't know how fake news this is, that we can lose 300 million jobs.
Oh yeah.
With AI.
Oh yeah.
My man said, "Oh yeah, that's low."
AI, that's different. We're gonna talk about it. But yeah, I think right now, pay off your debts. Don't get into more debt. If you can, buy your house still. There's things that people are gonna say, wait, don't wait. Buy your house still. When interest rates go down, if they go down, you could refinance it. Yeah. But buy your house still. Do what you need to do. Just be more, cognizant of how you spend your money.
I agree, man. Anything else before we get on the robots?
Nah, man. Yeah, man. Scary times, man. I just want to break that down, those bank failures, because it's happening. I predict there's going to happen more. So,
man.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week, based off of the information. Just know, if you don't make $250,000, you don't have $250,000, I think you be okay.
Yeah, you should be straight.
You should be good. You get all your money back. For once, this is the time where the millionaires and the billionaires are scratching their heads a little bit.
Are they? Because the government keeps bailing
them out. I think how many airlines they bailed out? Like 2, but
all those people now is 100% insured. Yeah, when the government took over, they said, "Hey, you don't have to worry about your money. It's 100% insured now."
Man, free all my people with the PPP loans, man. The ones that
the whole time,
man. If y'all go do that, man, like, come on, man. Also, everybody who's going into these stores, y'all young kids, or even I saw some adults doing it. Not even young adults. They're just going in the stores, shoplifting. It's like a trend out here. They're just going in stores, just taking stuff, like just walking, just walking in the store and just walking straight out with a whole bunch of stuff.
The person who does my hair, one of the people there said, "Man, I just saw the craziest thing. I was shopping at Owens Mills Mall or Townsend Mall, and this guy walking out with like hella shoes. All of a sudden, hella police came out of nowhere and tackled the man." I was like, he was just walking, mad calm. She's like, yeah, he was just calm and just walking. I'm like, bro, we see you stealing. I'm like, you probably watched
a couple of TikTok videos or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was sweet out here.
Like, be calm, no, yeah. Man. Baltimore will put a knee on your neck, man. Baltimore just had to debate. They should have had to disband some like police force because they kept because they were doing dirty work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So
that's a common occurrence.
So that's why I'm like, don't play with Baltimore police, baby. They will get you, okay? But
for less.
Very less. But y'all be good out there, man. Blessings.